I'm Connor Daly, and if I win the Visit Florida Cup, I'm going to go to Disney World and enjoy the theme park.
If I were Connor Daly, I'd be calling the Visit Florida travel agent.
Yeah, he is looking so good. I mean, you can't say enough about the year that Connor Daly has had, the dominance. And we haven't seen dominance like, he has shown in ages in this series. And again, with his dad's help and guidance and all that kind of stuff, I mean, that's a kid that is definitely going so far in the sport.
Meantime, we pick up the battle for 10th. Juan Pedrohita in the 28 car. Mitchell under the bridge to the inside as they head to 12.
Oh, and he sticks it in there. Now that's what Mitchell needs to do. I mean, Mitchell's a very capable driver, and showing aggressiveness like that going into turn 12, is going to pay dividends. That was a super move.
So Rusty Mitchell back to 10th position now in the 66 car. Not sure what his plans are for 2011 as yet. We heard from some of those young drivers, part of the Mazda Speed driver development ladder system earlier, Johnny, as some of them I think need to be here in Star Mazda for another year. Even a guy like Tristan Vautier, who's won a couple of races this year, to me you've got to be consistent here before you can think about taking another step. How do you see that?
It's true, that always helps, but then we look at some of our past and some of our the really strong drivers out of this series that have gone on and done well, I don't know, like Marco Andretti and Graham Rahal, they didn't win races, they didn't win championships here, but they certainly were able to move ahead. So it's all about getting that right team, that right opportunity. Dan Gurney once told me every year there's one series to be in and to be the champion of, and right now in Star Mazda, this is definitely a good year for Connor Daly.
Still battling for 4th and 5th, Kyle Lara, Martin Scuncio. Our website to keep track of our broadcast schedule for this series as well as the Playboy Mazda MX-5 Cup. It's MazdaRacing.tv, MazdaRacing.tv with all the broadcast schedules all year long. Kyle Lara in the 19 car has done a really nice job, I think, hanging on in the top 4, top 5 all day.
Doing a really good job. We'd expect that of him. Scuncio, though, really super impressed with him. Again, first time in this car, first time with the team, just doing a really good job, and he's obviously acclimating himself to the faster car, really well. He's done well in the 2-liter stuff, but you see a guy move up in a series and then start excelling, it's going to open up opportunities for this guy.
We got a glimpse during Todd's piece on the driver development system, the Mazda Speed. Oh, one car out of shape up the backstretch. Not up the backstretch, up the hill. Rusty Mitchell. We talked about Mitchell being so quick, getting back up to 10th spot. Just lost it coming out of the corner.
Hard to really see whether or not the guys checked up on him. Now, there's an elevation change. You see them. Mitchell, no, you know what? He was actually doing right, but he was holding the steering wheel, not letting the car unwind. These cars do have enough power to break them loose. Mitchell with a half spin there didn't hit anything.
He worked so hard to get to 10th, he gives it up with a spin. Meantime, battling down into turn 10, Pedrohita and Chris Miller in the fight for 10th.
Miller getting himself in the middle of a lot of battles today. Staying real tight to Pedrohita here.
Pedrohita changing lanes there to keep Miller behind him. Miller tries to move to the inside, can't get it done.
A lot of times a guy throws that little half move towards you, and it's just enough to make you breathe the car just a little bit so that you can't get by.
And these are momentum race cars, aren't they?
Oh, very much so. I mean, even with all the horsepower that these Mazda engines have, every class of racing is about momentum. If you give up 1-2 mile an hour in a corner, that's going to cost you 1-2-3 mile an hour at the end of the straightaways. Anytime you get out of that throttle, it really just kills you.
Goncalves in the 9 car, Pedrohita and Miller back there fighting 8th, 9th, and 10th. Heading to the backstretch. Meantime, here comes Scuncio. He's about to make a move on Lara for 4th.
Nicely done. Well, look at Vautier coming in from behind these guys. We got a 3-way battle now.
4th, 5th, and 6th in play as the laps wind down here at Road Atlanta. Final quarter of this lap. And Scuncio has 4th position.
And Lara's in a really bad position as he makes the move to the inside, and that he knows nothing about Scuncio, except it's another orange car side by side.
Scuncio on the outside, able to keep his foot in it and hold off Lara.
Oh, Lara, that ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna work. Oh, man.
I like Scuncio for a young kid making his first starter. He's not backing off.
Yeah, and Lara probably carried that one a little bit too deep, a little bit too ambitiously.
That could have had a very bad outcome for everybody. Chris Miller, meantime, working to move up in the running order as the laps wind down, but Scuncio takes 4th back. Lara and Vaudier 5th and 6th right now. Connor DeFilippi has led all the way so far at Road Atlanta.